Welcome to We Are Old, Get Over It, the podcast where we celebrate the wisdom of age and maybe a little grumbling too. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are diving into a truly heartwarming and vital initiative that builds bridges across generations through the incredible power of storytelling. My guest today is Arielle Galinsky. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Arielle Galinsky, yes. Arielle.
I'm
Close,
close.
very close.
My batting average is about 500%. Okay.
Yeah, no one
So
is
for
a
me, this is a hit. Okay.
yes.
So we're going to start talking about the Legacy Project, and this young lady is going to give us most of the information. And as you guys know, when you listen to me, I usually start out with some boring quote, and I end with a boring quote, but at least it gives you something to think about a little bit. So I came up with two quotes for the Legacy Project. This is the first one. It's by somebody who you might have heard from, Oprah Winfrey. And this is a direct quote from her. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. And I think that that's a good lead in to what the Legacy Project is. And what I'd like to do at this point is turn it over to my guest and first find out about what the basics are for those who aren't familiar and what exactly the Legacy Project is and what is its core mission. Okay? So it's
Yeah.
all your show now. I'm just going to sit back here and drink my water. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So the Legacy Project, to give a little bit of a backstory, because I think it's
Perfect.
important, began really as a passion initiative when I was in high school, and then later became a formalized organization that began when I was a sophomore at Tufts University. And really, at the core of what it began with and what it still is we connect college students with older adults living in their communities, primarily living in different senior communities, although we're expanding to different different models, which is also exciting. And over the course of the academic years, the youngers and olders, they have the opportunity to get to know one another during the course of the fall semester through interview questions that we've created. So we have question lists that students can ask seniors, and then seniors can ask students, and really emphasizing the importance of both individuals getting to know one another and not and really emphasizing that mutually beneficial relationship, friendship.
I have one question about that.
Yeah.
When they are, how do you, well, first of all, how do they interact? In other words, is it done through an email? Is it done through like a Zoom call or something like that? How does it work?
Nope. So we always pick a community that's very proximate to the college or university campus. Students go generally once a week, sometimes more frequent or less frequent, depending on the structure of the chapter. But it is all in person, and that's really a core part of the work that we do.
Oh, so basically it could be like we're going to meet every week for the next couple of weeks in a coffee shop type thing.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So there's a weekly cadence, generally same time, same day, um, and it just allows for continuity throughout the entirety of the program.
Okay. And uh, it really began as a grassroots effort with students, and you've expanded from Tufts University, correct,
Yep, we
to
started at
other
yep.
universities. So how many universities are involved in it at the present time?
So this fall we'll be at 25 schools.
25. Okay. And are they mostly like on the East Coast or are they all over the country?
I would say definitely concentrated on the East Coast, but we do have chapters at UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara, USC. We have a chapter starting at Vanderbilt. We have one potentially in the works at the University of Alaska. We have one at Wayne State in Michigan. So we are expanding geographically, but because we started in the Northeast, it started catching fire on this side of the country. So we are a little bit more concentrated over here.
Okay. Uh, how does this work? In other words, how do you find the seniors and how do you find the students, and then how do you put them together?
All excellent questions. So, at first, I'll start with the student portion. So, kind of what served as the impetus for growing as a larger organization was students began coming, seeing the work that we were doing at Tufts, and reached out to myself or my fellow co-founders and asked if this was an opportunity that they could get involved in on their college campus. That was kind of the switch to, oh, we should start growing. We should go to other schools. So in part, it's students coming to us, and in part, it's recruitment efforts. So we reach out to students who are pre-med or who are interested in journalism or interested in gerontology. We've had some professors reach out to us asking if they could embed the legacy project into their courses. So it's really it's kind of a mix for most of the time now it's students reaching out to us, which is very cool. But we are assisting in recruitment efforts to expand each of the chapters. So once that chapter leader, that student who decides that they want to be the one who's founding the chapter, then they have to grow the organization. And a lot of that is for them to do. And then we also assist them in those recruitment efforts. The senior communities, we do throughout the springtime and summer process, so we're still amid this for this upcoming fall semester, we do a geographic analysis to see what communities are nearby in proximate to that university or college campus. It's a lot of cold emailing, calling, and finding communities that are interested in being a partner with us as well. It's really important that we have, especially when it's like a senior community, that we have someone who's can serve as a strong point of contact. Even better if they are excited about the project, because that's generally what leads to excitement amongst the older adults too living in that community. And so it is really, we're at this point now where word is spreading too among senior communities, which is very cool. We have a partnership with an organization called Maplewood. They have, I believe it's 13 locations, but it's not everywhere in the US. But when there is a college or university that is proximate to one of their locations, we pair with them. So it is exciting to see our network grow over these past few years.
So when you're talking about Maplewood, they operate 55 plus communities, or they operate different facilities where seniors are.
Correct. Yes, it's independent and assisted living facilities.
Okay. And so that's why you sometimes have a central location that's within distance of the university and also where the seniors are.
That's
Okay.
the model we've
And
adopted.
you'd
Yeah.
mentioned, and you mentioned that you do it in in the fall semester, correct?
That's when
The
the interview.
actual operation, the
Yes,
interviews happen in the fall. So it's an interview, what, for 9 weeks, 9 different weeks,
nine
or
to 10 weeks, and each
I was
week
close. Good.
different. Correct. Yeah, no, you were very close. And each week is focused on a different chapter of life, basically. So we have
Okay.
early childhood years and XYZ.
Okay. So you come up with a series of questions to ask, and do you ask the same questions of every senior for the most
So
part?
they're used as a basis. It's meant to spur conversation, and to make
Okay.
sure that important areas of one's life aren't not asked about. But of course, we encourage both students and seniors to, go off where the conversation goes. Like it's meant to be as a guide and not necessarily kind of so strict that you have to answer every question. Because we also understand that for a lot of people, some of the questions are very sensitive, and the student and the senior getting to know one another in terms of avoiding certain topics is also very much a part of the project.
Okay. So the process then becomes they're meeting every week for about 9 or 10 weeks,
Yeah.
and they're having a relationship with each other, which is wonderful. I hope in most cases.
Yes. Yes.
Probably
Yeah.
it's a longer lasting relationship, which is also
Exactly.
wonderful. And can you give me a couple of hints of how that works, or a couple of stories about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for I'll speak to my one of my co-founders. Her match when at our second community that we paired with
Okay.
at Puffs in Weston, Massachusetts. Judy, they quickly became friends. They were kindred spirits, and they would frequently, Wanda, who is my co-founder, would frequently visit beyond just the scope of the project just to meet with Judy, and still now 3 years later still remains in close contact. They call frequently when Wanda's back in Boston. They meet up. So it's very nice to see that there is this portion of, we have this designated storytelling period, but for the most part, our students and seniors friendship continues far beyond. And it's interesting to see where that goes, right? So like Judy or Wanda asking each other for advice at different points and seeing really that mutually beneficial relationship persist even after the project has kind of completed. So
Okay.
that is a, I think, a beautiful byproduct of the work that we do.
Of course, because you're
Yeah.
having an interaction with a different generation,
Yeah,
and I think that that's positive for both generations.
I
Okay,
agree.
so are the people writing down the information? Are they recording it? Are they doing a video of it? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have this partnership with an organization called Kin Capsule. Kin Capsule is a digital time capsule. Basically, what it is it allows for writing. So as a student or a senior is capturing information, they can type after the interview into this like platform. But what's cool about it is it also allows for video recordings, audio recordings, photos. So we really encourage that each pair finds the method that works best for them. So
Yeah.
if that is taking a video or a voice recording, and that's easier than handwriting and uploading that into the platform, then so be it. But as long as it's captured in some form or another, we really allow for that flexibility amongst both students and seniors. So
Okay. I'll come back to another subject, but first I want to continue with this one. So, all right, the 9 weeks or 10 weeks is over. They can maintain their relationship or not, but the student goes back at the senior goes back and does whatever they're doing, and now it's the job of the college student, of the interviewer, to go back and create this legacy in a written form. Is that correct? And how is that done?
it's a very collaborative process. So it's not like after the fall semester, it just ends and the student writes. No, the student works with the older adult. And we encourage the senior also to write about the student. So it's a very, it's for the purposes of what's captured in the final book being authentic and real to the stories of both individuals. We really ask of the pairs that they meet frequently to utilize all the information that they learn, utilize what's in the digital time capsule, and to be able to write, but then reflect back and share what they've created with the other person to make sure that, first of all, what's captured are the main highlights of what one wants in a book that's going to be published and shared with the community and their family members. But secondly, that everything is written in an authentic way to the person and to their story. And so this is just another layer of working collectively in a co-generational way to create this shared product that both the pairs can be very proud of at the end.
I understand. Okay, so you're saying there's a final book.
There is a
So after they've had these meetings going back and forth for almost a year, correct? When it's
correct.
all said and done, there's a product that's created and delivered to both parties, I presume.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
what is that?
So let's say, for example, the Tufts chapter has 10 people. Each person, each senior has a chapter of the book. And within that, embedded too, the students might have shorter chapters about them that the senior writes. That collectively, for each of those chapters, each of the school chapters gets published as a book. So we guide students on how to format it, XYZ, do the kind of the logistics of it, and then we assist them in self-publishing those books that then can then be distributed to the students the seniors, their family, the communities, and that can be accessed online as well. So that's kind of the framework that we've adopted thus far.
And and there is no charge for this service, correct?
No, no, no. There's no fee to the seniors who partake in this. It's completely volunteer, and in fact, we seek to cover the cost of a book for each of the seniors, and then additional books can be, purchased by their family members. But we try to get at least one book free of charge to all the seniors who partake in the program.
Okay. And how do you fund your charity? It is a charity, correct?
Yep, we're a 501(c)(3) nonprofit.
Hmm.
And through a mix of, thus far, it's been primarily grants. I will also say the beauty of working on college and university campuses is there are a plethora of resources that student organizations can tap into. So, for a lot of our student orgs who are based on campuses where they can access student organization funding, and I will say, like, the actual cost of our work isn't like when you're thinking about it, it's like, yes, there is a small cost if you want to hire an editor for the book, which some chapters do. There is a cost if you want to host holiday parties, which we recommend doing, like doing events outside of the scope of the project between the youngers and olders who partake. There are those additional costs, and students are sometimes able to tap into university student organization funding that's just available to them. So that's been another way that we've been able to be very sustainable in that realm. And then we recently got our 501(c)(3) status actually a few months ago. So we will also be accepting small dollar donations as well, to just assist us in the work that we're doing. So,
Okay. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that after this podcast is put online, that on our website we put the information for your charity
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. That would be awesome.
and
Just to learn more
and
about it too.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course, you want to learn more about it. Hopefully, you're going to learn more about it from the two of us talking.
of
But
course.
but
But
yeah, you're right. We would like them to find out more about it and maybe participate in it. Now, I have
yeah,
another question for you. Um, why wouldn't you have someone speak to somebody like me? Even though I think you and I had when we had our initial conversation, I said, "Well, why don't you contact the University of South Florida or one of the universities near me because there's a lot of seniors in Florida."
yeah.
And if that's your basis, probably you're too busy doing other things to go after just these schools. But you can expand what you're doing by kind of what we're doing, which is doing a Zoom call, or in our case, it's not a Zoom call, but it's very similar, where we could get together for, I don't know, how long are the discussions usually when they're having their coffee together?
Yeah, they're generally about an hour and a half.
Okay. So couldn't we do something like that? Couldn't you and I do something like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I
Do you
think
want to do something? Do you want to do that with me as a test?
we can certainly do that. That would be fun. I the this idea of growing, well, I will start with this. We have thought a lot about how can we want this program to be accessible to all older adults, right? We are primarily focused on college and university students, so they are geographically located in one area for a certain period of time.
Hmm.
But we are trying to, we ideally in the next few years will expand our program to also include a remote option, as well as an option for older adults who might live proximate to the college or university campus, but are who are homebound and maybe don't live in a senior community. So these are kind of two streams that we are hoping to go down. Obviously, each program that you launch takes a lot of logistical support. So we're trying to perfect our bread and butter model of in-person interaction proximate to a university or college campus to really show like that this is a, that we are able to sustain that in the growth that is just solely in the different colleges and university campuses that we're on. And then we're hoping to expand. We do actually have a form on our website for older adults to fill out if they're interested in the program. If they are proximate to a college or university campus, we'll of course connect them with students who live there. If they're not, we have like an ongoing database so that when we do launch this program of a remote option, basically for students who might want to do it remote, as well as older adults who don't live near one of these campuses, we will reach out to them and ask if they want to partake in the program.
Okay. So you kind of answered the question of my next question anyway, which was going to be about the individual connections. What kind of broader impact do you hope to have with the legacy project, which is what we've been talking about?
Of course,
Uh,
yes.
you told me about the other plans that you have, which was another thing. And for listeners who were inspired by this work, how can they get involved with the Legacy Project? We talked about the fact that you now have a 501c3. The only reason I can say that quickly is I have one also.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you ask somebody what a charity is, they don't know. But if it's a 501c3,
What are
we
these
know what it
letters?
is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It really doesn't mean much except you have tax exemption status. So that's good for people who
exactly,
want it. Right. So,
exactly. Well,
yeah,
yeah, it's a tax exemption for individuals to give you
correct.
funding, which is a very nice thing.
Yes.
And it's just is more paperwork for you, but it's not that hard, believe me. Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell me about this?
Yeah, I would say like if you are listening and you're interested in this work, go to our website that Ken will put in the show notes,
You can
Legacy
say it
Project.
right now.
Yeah, so it's legacyprojectinc.org. You can sign up for our newsletter, and we often send out updates about our work. We're actually launching a really cool program. We got a grant from the Eisner Foundation to launch. I will be launching as one of their fellows this year a program called Intergenerational Change Makers. This really connects to my idea of intergenerational connections and storytelling can propel civic change. I really believe that. And this program is meant to demonstrate that. So, what it basically, in essence, is going to be is seniors and students, like we always do, will pick about 15 to 20 pairs from across the country nearby our chapters. Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be affiliated, it's just going to be in geographic proximity. Um, and they will in an abbreviated amount of time have the opportunity to do the storytelling and interviewing that we were discussing, Ken, but with the added twist of they will then utilize that opportunity to find a shared interest, a shared passion in their host communities, and they will get a grant of a little over $1,000 to do a community service project together and also bring
That's
in other college students and older adults that they're in community with. And the idea is that these will be now 15 to 20 case studies of how intergenerational connections can be the foundation for civic change in communities. And so if you're interested in this, partaking in it or learning more about it, you can sign up for our newsletter. And as mentioned, we do have that form on our website. If you're an older adult listening and you're interested in potentially being part of this program, fill that out and we will be in contact. So there's a lot of exciting ways to tap in.
The other thing I wanted to mention, so people are aware of this, and again, our audience knows that we have a blog on our website for each podcast, and there's a transcript of what we say. So that information is already there, or will be there whenever we drop your podcast. So hopefully, we can help you out, and we can go from there. Okay. So now I'm going to expect for you to do an interview with me because it could be a good test,
Yes.
and then we could do a podcast about it, and if anybody wants to hear it, they can hear it. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this point?
If you have any ideas, questions, curiosities about the work we do, our email is front and page on our website, and please reach out. We are always excited
what
to chat
what
with you.
is the email address on your website?
Yep. So it's we just changed. It is
Did I get you? I'm sorry.
exec at the
Okay.
legacyproj.org. We just changed it. exec at
Say it
thelegacyproj.org.
again. Say it again.
Exec, EXEC, at thelegacyproj.org.
Got it.
That's our full team email. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to end this podcast. Let you get some. Let you go out and have some fun on a Saturday with another quote, and this one's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. You probably took a course about him at some point in your life.
Probably.
Yes.
interspersed with my pre-med courses.
Okay. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. And I think what the Legacy Project does is enable seniors to pass on what they've done in their lives or what they didn't do in their lives. And for younger people who are there, what do you call the younger people who are doing it? Who are just interviewees, or what's their
Younger
name?
students. Yeah,
Say that again.
younger pairs, students.
Younger pair. Okay.
I say
I think
olders and
for them,
youngers.
I think for them, it's also very beneficial, and I think it's a
Absolutely.
great. I think it's a great thing that you're doing, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy morning to spend it with an old guy like me. Okay.
No, Ken, it was such a pleasure. I'm so happy we were able to chat.
And that concludes this episode of We Are Olds, Get Over It. Thanks for joining me. I hope you found our conversation both insightful and entertaining. Remember, age is a journey, not a destination. So embrace the wrinkles, the forgetfulness, and the occasional tech frustrations with a good dose of get over it attitude. Until next time, keep laughing, keep learning, and keep getting over it. Ken out.